J.C. Jackson went undrafted in 2018 after a rocky college career. He started at Florida before going to Riverside Community College and ended up at Maryland, where he had a decent college career. Jackson showed flashes of brilliance his rookie season, eventually gaining the starting job in Week 13. In 2019, Jackson again found himself deep in the depth chart as part of a stacked secondary, but once more, he fought his way to a starting spot with a spectacular season. Jackson led all corners in passer rating when targeted last season, but that can be a muddled stat, so let's check the tape. JC has been used predominantly as an outside, press coverage, one-on-one corner, allowing him to make the most of his great size and speed to smother opposing wide receivers. At 6'1", 200 pounds, Jackson plays even bigger than his already large frame. His long arms allow him to get a strong punch on his man, and with the use of his body, guides players to where he wants. There were some questions about Jackson's speed coming out of college, but that doesn't seem to show up on tape, with Belichick often tasking Jackson to take out the opposing team's speedy wide receiver chew. Jackson is phenomenal against the long ball. Over the course of his career, and against 100+ fades I charted, he had just 3 bad snaps against fades or go routes, and 6 interceptions. Jackson has become a master of using his body to squeeze receivers into the sideline, giving opposing quarterbacks nowhere to put the ball. And when QBs do try to throw it, Jackson has the skill to turn his head and aggressively attack the ball. Patriots appear to be in a cover 2, looking to roll into a cover 1 robber. Jackson's going to be at the bottom of the screen and press technique. The Dolphins look to run a verts concept with a near side slot ran a post to split the chew outside fades. When Tannehill sees the safety rotate, he immediately puts the deep ball to the outside. However, Jackson has used great body positioning to squeeze his receiver into the sideline, and as soon as he sees his man look back, he snaps his head to the QB and tracks the ball while posting his man up, hauling in his first career interception. Here against the Bengals, JC is again close up to his man. Jackson has inside leverage on his man, so he gives up the free release outside, perfectly matches the receiver's stop and go, and again uses his body to make sure he's the only one who can play the ball, high-pointing it for an INT. Later on in this game, Dalton again tries to attack Jackson on the fade. He's once again playing heads up on his man and gets a good bump, forcing him to the sideline. He's able to stay stride for stride with his man, and once again gets his head around early, allowing him to track the deep ball and high point it without the receiver having a chance at the ball. The deep ball is virtually non-existent towards JC's side of the field, and he even shows excellent ability to play the deep third. The Patriots defense is predominantly a man coverage team, but they play a fair amount of cover 3, and both Jackson and Gilmore were superb at it. Check out this pick against Buffalo. The Bills are aiming to run a smash concept on the far side, with the outside receiver running a hitch, the slot running a corner, and the tight end running a flat. The Pats are in a cover 3 here, with Jackson playing the deep third. JC knows that the Pats are out leveraged in the flat when he sees the tight end route, so he stays low to contain it, always keeping his eye on the quarterback. As Allen shifts his eyes to the corner route, JC immediately breaks to the deep third, high-pointing the ball for another pick. 27 shows elite level skill when it comes to playing the ball in the air, always attacking the ball at its highest point. Here against the Jets, the Patriots are in cover 3 with Jackson and Bill technique. This is where the DB's hips are turned towards the middle of the field, and he backpedals sideways to his deep zone, always keeping his eyes on the quarterback. He keeps his eyes on the ball at all times, reading the receivers out with his peripheral vision. Once he sees the cut, he plants and drives on a well-aimed throw, violently attacking the ball out of the wide receiver's hands for the incompletion. Here, Jackson is again in heads-up coverage, taking the single side of the Chiefs 3x1 formation, covering Demarcus Robinson. The Chiefs are running a deep crossing pattern, with Robinson and Hill crossing paths. Jackson shows fluid hips, turning his body open and staying stuck to his receiver across the field. Mahomes, cocky with his arm strength, thinks that he can fit the ball into the window on the sideline, but Jackson undercuts the pass, high-pointing the ball for the pick. Jackson has also made a name for himself on special teams. Because of his size, he's been able to bury opposing gunners into the bench or completely stone them at the line. He also made this standout punt block. The Pats bring the all-out rush, and when the Bills don't bring in their gunners, it gives the Patriots a 9-on-8 advantage. And you don't need to be a math genius to know how this is going to end. The up man doesn't step across to protect the load side, and Jackson gets a straight rush at the punter. He's able to show off his athleticism and strength, laying out for the punt block. This game was a true standout for Jackson, with 1 punt block and 2 picks on the day. On his first pick, Jackson is lined up in the slot, continuing his usual press man. He gets a good push on his receiver and is able to ride him to intermediate depth. With the safety over the top, Jackson knows he can play under his man, turning his head back to the ball early. Then shows fantastic athleticism to high point the deep ball. On the second, the Patriots are in cover 1, with Jackson in his preferred press coverage. He does a great job shielding his man to the sideline, but as Allen rolls out, JC loses his man on the scramble drill, but comes racing back to his receiver and then is able to show off great athleticism again, picking off a wild ball 10 feet in the air and still getting his feet down for the toe tap. Outside of manhandling receivers into the sideline, Jackson has shown great ability to pattern match with wide receivers. Watch here as he perfectly pattern matches Mike Williams stride for stride, then times his lunge to perfection, knocking down the hitch. This is one for the coach's film. He's firmly tasked with one-on-one coverage, mainly playing the boundary, but as he's grown in the defense, he saw many snaps in the slot or against tight ends. In the 2018 AFC Championship game, Jackson was given the mountainous task of Travis Kelce and had a phenomenal first half. Once again, Jackson is playing the single side of the 3x1 formation. He shows excellent strength and press, able to shift Kelce outside the numbers, giving Mahomes nowhere to throw, leading him to try to force one over the middle. Jackson does another great job here against Kelce in the inside slot, stoning him twice on the over route. However, his second half almost cost the Patriots a chance at the Super Bowl, getting called for 3 defensive coverage penalties and giving up a slant touchdown to Kelce, helping revamp a Chiefs almost comeback. And that leads us to Jackson's main problem. He's too handsy. This was a major knock on Jackson coming out of college, and the problem has persisted into the NFL, totaling 15 defensive penalties and just 1,280 career snaps. Belichick has been known to like physical corners and has been willing to incorporate penalty-prone players with upside. A guy who's going to fight you through the route has a greater chance of distracting and disturbing a wide receiver's focus and fundamentals. But he's cost the Patriots possessions, and in some cases, almost the game. On the Chiefs' fourth quarter drive, Jackson was responsible for 2 egregious penalties. First, this hole on Sammy Watkins. Jackson remains a single side and full-on bulldogs his man to the ground, drawing a holding penalty. This flag was devastating, negating the game-sealing fumble caused by Gilmore. Jackson then picks up a ticky-tacky pass interference on Watkins, giving up another 23 yards just 2 plays later. Another knock on Jackson is his play recognition. He can struggle on play action, either biting for the run or getting taken out of the play by a good receiver dummy. Here, Jackson starts out on the wide man at the bottom of the screen, following the motion and is in off coverage before the snap. The receivers fake a screen with the Dolphins actually running a draw play. Despite having his eyes directly on the quarterback and seeing the handoff, Jackson's instincts take over and he runs with the receiver away from the run. Against the Chiefs, the Pats are in man coverage with Jackson once again lined up over Kelce. Jackson completely bites on the play action, leaving Kelce wide open in the flat. Now the play design is great, so Jackson probably doesn't have a chance at stopping the pass completely, but he can't get this lost. Belichick was clearly a fan of Jackson, trusting him with the outside of his aggressive man blitz defense, often giving Jackson no help behind him. However, come to the red zone, 27 came off the field majority of his career, and clearly Belichick was worried about his play recognition. As the yards to goal decreases, defenders have to sell out more. Billy B was clearly cautious of Jackson's ability to decipher runs or pass quickly enough, and the tape confirmed his thinking. However, Jackson has made improvements over his 2 years and has become trusted enough to be the full-time number 2 corner opposite of Gilmore over the last 6 games. Jackson has also shown a deficiency for covering the slant route. It can be difficult for a big corner to stay with a receiver over such short distances, but Jackson must do a better job landing more inside punches on the inside route. When it comes to the fundamentals of defense, it's simple. Belichick won't play bad tacklers. JC is good to average tackler who has some power behind his pop, but his play recognition problem creeps up here too. Occasionally not being able to use his tackling ability to the fullest because he didn't get himself into the right spot. When beat on a route, Jackson's pursuit is excellent and he's great at taking down his man right after the reception, limiting the yards after the catch. So, where does this leave Jackson? He clearly possesses the traits to become a true lockdown corner. He wipes out the deep ball completely. He does an excellent job of keeping his eyes on the quarterback, knowing when to get his head around. He attacks the ball and shows great hands and has the ability to pattern match with the best of them. However, he is too penalty prone, struggles in play recognition and with the slant routes. But with the best coach in the NFL, I'd bet JC develops into a star. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you need more football, check out our breakdown on Christian McCaffrey's record-breaking season and how J.K. Dobbins fits into the Baltimore offense.